Hi everyone, and welcome to your final overview video for Education 438, Teaching Reading and Writing in the Content Area. This is the final video I'm going to film for you this semester, and you can already tell that it looks different because the main goal of this video is to just give you the information that you need regarding your final in this class, which is, of course, your final draft of your unit plan and the reflection that you're going to write that accompanies it. So I'm going to jump right into it today. I'm going to share my screen, and you're going to notice that right off the bat, we're going to our overview page for week 16. So our topics this week are pretty straightforward. I want you to think about constructive unit plan feedback. One of the things that we're doing this week is we are looking at our pod members' unit plan drafts and giving them some feedback on some strengths of those drafts and maybe areas that they can improve or expand or be more clear, whatever that looks like. I'm going to talk about the requirements for your unit plan reflection, which you'll turn in with your final unit plan on the date of our final, which is December 10th. I want you to continue thinking about overall unit alignment and cohesion, which is something that I mentioned thinking about in my overview video from last week. And then I just want to go over, of course, all of those due dates. I want to go over the rubric I'll be using to grade, to assess your unit plans, and then I'll call it. So this hopefully will be maybe the shortest video I filmed all semester. So here are your objectives. You will read through pod members' unit plan drafts, giving colleagues feedback on strengths, as well as areas for improvement, clarity, expansion, etc. I always find that looking through other people's unit plans helps me think about my own unit planning, and I'm hoping that that is the case for you all as well. Students will complete the final stage of their semester unit plan through engaging in a reflective look on their process. Students will continue to fine-tune the overall cohesiveness of their unit plan through considering whether all your required elements align. Students will have an understanding of all required due dates for the semester final, as well as for how that final will be assessed. Wow, I really can't talk today. It's a good thing it's the end of the semester. So I'm going to, of course, attach this video here. Your assigned reading this week is to read through your pod members' unit plans. Our final Zoom meeting is this Wednesday, December 3rd from 5 to 6 p.m. Really looking forward to this Zoom meeting. We're going to be talking a lot about semester takeaways. We'll be creating kind of like a course manifesto. I'll give you some time for course evaluations, etc. So your assignments for this week, like I said, to read your pod members' unit plan drafts and to give them feedback. That feedback is going to be due a week from today. This is currently Sunday, December 7th at 11:59. And then, of course, please turn in those course evaluations for me. You all know if you were at our last required Zoom, I am not, nor do I feel comfortable counting that as a grade, but I will highly encourage you to complete those course evaluations. And I'll give you some time during this Wednesday Zoom as well. And then, of course, the big upcoming deadline, your semester final, which is your final unit plan and reflection that is due Wednesday, December 10th by 11:59 p.m. Okay, so this week, as part of your module, I am just re-including the pod post from this past week, just so you remember that you do need to read over your pod members' unit plans and to give them feedback. I've mentioned here that in your response to each of your members, please include 3 concrete shout outs. So actually tell them what's working about it. Don't just say, as a whole, this unit plan looks great. Is it a particular lesson that's standing out to you? Is it the performance task? So give them concrete shout outs so they know what they're doing well. And then at least 2 concrete questions, suggestions, or ideas to make the unit plan more cohesive, more clear. I like to sometimes formulate my feedback in the kind of form of a question. This kind of helps students or your colleagues in this case think about what they could do differently. So please be kind, but be clear, right? We want to turn in really good products, and part of us doing these kind of peer feedback assignments is getting us to a place where we can turn in something we're proud of. Okay, I have included this this week as well as a PDF, but this is just an overview, right, of what you need to turn in for your final. So I have some requirements here. Your final unit plan submission should include the following: a revised final upload of your unit plan. When I say revised, I want to see that you have incorporated my feedback, if I had any, or my revisions, as well as those of your pod members. You must upload the template that I've assigned to you for day one. A few of you have turned in different templates. I apologize if that's hard for you because you're doing different things for different classes, but I am grading kind of in order with this template. So please, please, please use the template I've assigned to you from day one. If you are using a different template, I will immediately return your work to you and ask you to resubmit. Okay, so just do that from the get-go. The other piece that your final needs to include is a separate reflection. So you'll turn in your template, your final unit plan, and then you'll turn in a separate document that's a reflection. This will detail your creation and process of this unit, okay? So this should be double spaced, approximately 400 to 600 words, and include the following information: how you integrated ideas, concepts, or strategies learned in the course into your unit plan, an insight into lesson planning that you gained as a result of creating this plan. You made 5 to 7 different lessons, so hopefully you got some insight into that process. For my non-English teachers, your thoughts about the value of pulling literacy instruction into your content area. For my English teachers, your thoughts about the benefits of contents outside of English, including literacy or integrating literacy into their areas. How you brought your own creativity into the planning process, and then how you implemented my suggestions for revision, as well as your pod member suggestions for revision. So that's your reflection. So really, when you upload your final, you should have 2 documents: your final uploaded unit plan and your reflection. All right, here is the rubric I'm going to be using to grade your unit plans. Like I said, I've kind of broken this down so that it follows that unit plan template. So you're going to get 5 points for context. This is the unit plan, including your name, the topic, the subject area, grade level, and selected text with links. Okay, make sure that you link me to those selected texts. 10 points for your desired results section. Your unit plan should include your content standards, your ELA literacy standards. Remember, you want a reading, writing, vocab one. Your enduring understandings and essential questions. These should all be cohesive and well aligned. 10 points for your acquisition section. Your unit plan should include the required amount of Tier 2 and Tier 3 vocabulary with definitions and descriptions for each. 2 to 4 knowledge objectives and 2 to 4 skills objectives. 10 points for your assessment section. 2 well-described performance tasks with clear evaluative criteria, as well as 1 formative assessment to be used to test student learning for one of your lesson plans. Okay, the bulk of this, 25 points for your section on evidence, your 5 to 7 lesson plans that demonstrate a variety of instructional strategies, speak to working knowledge of multiple literacy strategies learned over the semester, and demonstrate understanding of scaffolding, differentiation, and the importance of multimodality. So you can return back to the stage 3 directions if you need, once again, a breakdown of all of this. But remember that these lesson plans should build in complexity and should align with your larger unit goals, your desired results, right? So 25 points for that. Then we come to kind of our overall cohesion, alignment, and care requirement. So you're going to get 15 points for this. This is when I sort of consider your unit plan as a whole, and I ask myself, okay, does this unit plan demonstrate careful consideration of cohesion and alignment, right? Does everything match up? Does it make sense together? Does your unit plan reflect time dedicated to revision, readability, clarity, professionalism? So are you turning in the best product you can possibly turn in, right? A unit plan, at least in my opinion, is never finalized, but it should improve, right? We've been working on these for really the bulk of the semester at this point. So consider this that culminating piece that you are turning in that shows kind of everything that you've learned, all the ways that you've grown in literacy instruction and planning over the course of this semester. So this should finally reflect commitment to everything that we've read, discussed across the semester, right? So you're getting 15 points just for this kind of section where I look at your unit plan as a whole instead of just the individual parts. And then finally, that reflective piece that I went over at the top of this, right, that reflection, that is 15 points as well, okay? For a total of 90 points possible. That's a big deal. And this is not to stress you out, right? Because hopefully by this point, this is all going to be finalizing and writing your reflection, right? If you have really put care into this over the course of the semester, if you're completing revisions this week, once you get your pod members' revisions and my revisions in by the 7th, you have a couple days to really kind of go through and incorporate those. Yeah, I think you are going to turn in some great products. Okay. So the next thing that this module includes is just the actual assignment, right, for your final. And of course, like I said, that is due December 10th by 11:59. I cannot accept this late, my friends. I know I've been very lenient with late work across the semester, and that's something that, is important to me because I know that things come up. But with these final exams, I can't accept them late. I have another class of final exams coming in, and then we have a 72-hour turnaround. So basically, I have 72 hours to grade 40 really in-depth kind of final projects, okay, or close to 40. So please, please, please get this to me on time. I'm going to stop my share and remind you all that our final Zoom is this Wednesday from 5 to 6. I don't know if we'll go the whole time, but I really am just excited to see everybody one last time, to talk about some major course takeaways, to give you time to complete that course evaluation, to ask questions about the final. Yeah, so it's just wild to me that we've gotten this far, but please know that I was actually a little sad to film this video. It's always a relief to feel the end of the semester coming because I know we're so tired, but I have just absolutely loved teaching this class and I'm going to miss teaching it, particularly to your group. You, as a class, have been phenomenal. So I will be sad on Wednesday, but also happy that we've gotten to have this experience together. So hopefully my directions for the final are clear. As always, reach out if you have any questions, and I will see everybody on Wednesday.